All right, all right. Welcome, everybody. So good to see everybody in here who's in here live this evening. Tonight, you get a special treat. Some of you know her, some of you might be meeting her for the first time, but PJ is going to be walking us through the wonderful world of intermittent fasting this evening. I'll get to PJ in just a second. Vanessa is here. She's on video. She will be monitoring the chat, but she is unable to speak tonight because she's been to the dentist today. So she is kind of looking her pretty self. She kind of looks a little lopsided, a little like, something's a bit different, but she's laughing. So she's in good spirits, which is awesome. To PJ. Well, I've known PJ now nearly 11 years, and you guys are in for a treat because in the 11 years that I've known her, I've watched her go through all kinds of interesting experiences with her own personal health journey. But I've never seen her look and feel as good as she does right now. She's had a really, really massive journey in the last couple of years. I feel like this cortisol program and intermittent fasting, all of these things are right in PJ's wheelhouse to be able to speak to you really intelligently, really practically, to be able to give you guys some insights into how this affects you. One of the things I love about PJ is that before AI was invented, there was Peter Jane. So when you want to know something and you just type it in and go, and this happens in all of the groups that we're in together with PJ, people ask questions all day, and always the first person to answer is PJ because she's got this wealth of knowledge. She knows so much about the body and what it goes through and how it experiences what it experiences. And a lot of this is driven out of personal experience. But she's the person that when there's some new knowledge to be had, she goes down the rabbit hole as far as the rabbit hole can go, and then brings the information back out to light and puts it into normal person speak so they can understand it. So she's done the hard yards and the hard work to be able to share all this information with you tonight. So I'm excited for all of you to be able to listen to her and learn from her tonight. You're going to find that she is a wealth of knowledge on this topic. She's also used the products that we're using in the cortisol program, like the LLV, the MetaPower, the Recharge, all of these things, as well as all of our oils and everything else, extensively. So she knows what's in the product. She understands the breakdown of all the different ingredients in the products and what it does to our bodies and how it can serve us best. So excited for you guys to learn. So I won't take up any more of the time. I'll pass it over to PJ. Again, Vanessa is in the chat monitoring. So if you've got questions, hit her up there. She will monitor that. But other than that, all yours, PJ. Have a great time.
Thanks so much, Paul. What a ride it's been too. We've been in this beautiful business that has allowed us to be ourselves and also work on being better versions of ourselves. We couldn't ask for any better. So I'm going to share the screen right now, and it's actually letting me. So this is, you have to know, if you don't know me, you will know that I have a lot of problems with technology. I know how to use it, but it doesn't like me very much. All right, intermittent fasting and you. So I kind of changed the title slightly because as I was developing the content for tonight, I was very aware that I didn't want to be prescriptive. And as we progress through the training tonight and you understand what intermittent fasting is, what it actually is, then hopefully you'll understand why I'm not being prescriptive without being vague. All right. So that was my challenge to myself. Don't be prescriptive and yet don't be vague. If you've had experiences with intermittent fasting already, I would love to know. Pop it in the chat. Let's go. All right. So tonight, welcome. This is all about clarity, purpose, and intention around, we're going to level up tonight. We're leveling up. A little bit about me, Christian entrepreneur. I'm an integrated wellness educator, faith-based mentor, and founder of Sycamore Wellbeing since 2014 with my husband, who is also watching. Yura, hi. With over 30 years of leadership and mentoring experience, which I had in HR and other aspects, PJ helps develop people simplify wellness. That's my goal. Restore rhythm and honor their God-given design in body, in mind, and in spirit. So recently, after overcoming severe diabetes, that was the title that the doctor gave it, in 2024, I became even more grounded in the mission we have with doTERRA. So through intentional fasting, through prayer, relationship with God, absolutely, the natural tools, I now teach others to walk in healing through faith-led rhythm, biblical wisdom, and most importantly, whole person support, because that's what our products can do. I'm passionate about demystifying wellness, as Paul alluded to, and equipping the saints to steward their health for kingdom impact. So through retreat escapes, they're coming, one-on-one mentoring, wellness education, other offerings I have up my sleeve. I'll be providing a very clear path that is peaceful to long-term vitality, rooted in grace, not in grind. Do you like that, Vanessa? I think you would love that. All right, so this is a before and after. And guys, just full disclosure, this also shocks me. All right, I still get on in the mirror. I don't look in the mirror very often, but when I do, I'm like, whoa. And looking back at February 2024, this was the Blue Diamond Summit, actually leadership at that spot where we were at. And this was less than or roughly a year later. And the transformation is palpable, not just in myself, but also in the person that I love and that I live with. So intermittent fasting, it isn't new. Let's get this really clear. It's time for us. Look at the clock. It's time for us to nurture. It's how we function as a human being. We can go over that tonight. I'm going to go a little bit deeper in what that means and how that works for us. Did I just jump a slide? Because I think I did. Let me see. No? All right. I want to explain, we were designed for rhythm. Now, this was really interesting. When I first came to intermittent fasting, I was not a fan. Full disclosure, was not my jam. I thought it was self-deprecation. I thought it was self-loathing. And I felt that it was probably rooted in a bad relationship with food. I wasn't all wrong, but I had it wrong. So let me explain. Let's think about the breastfeeding baby. They eat in time windows, yeah? Every 3 to 4 hours. And then at night, as they grow, they're sleeping through, and there is actually a natural fasting window, provided they do what they're meant to do. No snacking, no grazing, rhythmic nourishment, and the body uses in between time to digest, repair, and grow. And then we can go down that whole on-demand feeding and all the things. I will say I did both. I had a lot more normality in my life when I started to understand there were feeding windows and not to breastfeed on demand, but we're not going to go there tonight. What I want to know tonight is, when did we go off the rails? All right. Babies have it right. Mamas know how to set the times for breastfeeding. Western diets, convenience foods, distorted working days, some places with even no windows, emotional pressure. We kind of medicate with our food. We celebrate with our food, and then we medicate on top. Circadian rhythms are interrupted. And this is the main point. The digestive tract actually never truly heals. So when people are talking to you about, I have digestive issues, you can almost answer, I know, because of the way we eat in modern society. So let's establish this. Intermittent fasting helps the body restore. That's what a lot of people don't understand. This is restoration. Feed me well, then give me the space to do what I am designed to do. Keep that in mind, because your body has a natural intelligence. We are made by God. It's not a trend. It's a return to God's designed rhythm for our bodies. Your body remembers the pattern, and all you're doing is tuning back in. I remember exactly where I was standing when all of this landed, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. I started to feel healed after about 2 weeks intermittent fasting, and I started to feel as though my body was back in sync with the planet again. It was quite the ride, this feeling. So let's talk about this. Why does intermittent fasting matter? Well, number one, it doesn't have to be complicated. It's the easiest thing we've ever done. As busy people with insane schedules, which Yura is here to testify to, we have managed to keep this up for over a year. It doesn't actually have to be confusing, but people claim that it's confusing, so therefore it is. It's not. Starvation and struggle is actually unnecessary. Okay, you've got to plan and prepare first, but it's not a big deal, and I'll explain why. And then you're going to learn your body's natural rhythm. Okay, this is the gift. This is the gift of intermittent fasting, learning your rhythm. I did not focus on the weight. The weight has peeled off. I did not focus on my shape. I didn't even worry about my age. I just knew once I understood what I was doing, I was good. So let's go a little bit deeper. There are types of fasting. So you have what's known as a 12-12, and that is, oh, by the way, there is a lot of different types of fasting, and every culture, every religion. In fact, I came across it and decided that I need to adjust my attitude, I think, which is what I do when I feel like, wait, this is something I don't understand. And it was the Daniel fast that girlfriends had started on. I'm like, what? And yet my friends in Egypt were doing Ramadan. And I'm like, wait, what am I missing? So this is where I went down, and I literally did go through the rabbit hole. So 12-12 in terms of Western diet, taking that in, and I'm just going to focus on that tonight because we could be here for hours. The 12-12 is your gentle reset. What does that mean? So let's just say you head to bed at about 10 and you wake up, you have a lovely morning at around sort of 6:30, 7 o'clock perhaps. You wait until your last meal has hit 12 hours. So that might be 7. And at 7 o'clock, you break your fast. We're going to talk about this a fair bit tonight. All right. And you do that for a few weeks just to get, it's not hard. It's just putting off the food. If you're ravenous, eat. But generally speaking, if your mind is on, yeah, okay, I'm gonna give this a go. 12-12. So it's got to be 12 hours exactly from the last time you ate. So if you ate at 9, I would pray that you didn't, but and we'll talk about that too. If you ate at 9, you would start eating at 9 o'clock, and you would just do this for about a week or 2, or maybe a month, even longer. The one that most of us are hearing about on a regular everyday is the 16-8 metabolic boost. This is what Yura and I followed reasonably religiously, and that is 16 hours fasting and in a window, like think about breastfeeding baby, okay, 8 in a window where you can eat. Now, I had been doing intermittent fasting for 2 years prior to this, and I practically killed myself. And the reason for that was I was choosing the wrong foods, had no idea about nutrition, true nutrition, and what supports us and what causes problems, shall we say. 16-8 metabolic boost is what most people are looking for. And then what does that look like? Well, you're asleep for 8, so yay. And then you add another 8 hours. And I can see some of you going, ooh, there's no way I can do that. After you do your 12-12, it's just 4 more hours. And you go for a walk, or you go and read a book, but you do have to ensure that your nutrition is perfect. Then there's the 5-2. So that's 5 days regular eating, not whatever you want. And you may have noticed that on the internet, it's, hey, I'm eating pizza. Hey, I'm drinking whatever I want. I can have ice cream. This is an absolute misnomer. In fact, it's dangerous talk, and you definitely can't eat whatever you want in your window if you're looking to take care of your metabolic health. No way. Flexible structure for the 5-2 is 5 days eating roughly the same as you would normally eat, but careful about what you intake, and 2 days back to back, 48 hours of complete fasting. And you might think, no way. And it's actually really good, because what you can do is the 5 days is a ramp and the 2 days is a jump, and then you won't starve, and it isn't wartime, and you will find more potatoes. Don't worry. Okay. You just have to ease up about your mindset around what you think it is and what it actually is. Then there's OMAD. Yura and I flipped between 16-8 and OMAD, which is 1 meal a day. We got very used to that, and we're very comfortable. We switch between those two. All right, get your phones out and zap this. This is a study to help you with any cognitive dissonance that I can already see it on some of the faces. The effects on intermittent fasting on health, aging, and disease by the New England Journal of Medicine. Note the date, 2019. There is a plethora of new information suddenly being able to be released. And the great thing is we have never been in a better time for health. Okay, so things like fasting impacts on your health, longevity. So doTERRA's all over longevity, your brain function, your metabolic processes. Authors discuss the evidence suggesting that intermittent fasting can actually increase your health span by improving your glucose regulation. And that should mean something to you if you've been in here already for about a month and a half. And increasing your stress resistance. Yura knows all about that. And suppressing inflammation. And I know all about that because I had inflammation. So you'll find this very interesting. And there's cool studies. There's so many cool studies. I can't use them all. This is the big question, though. Is it right for you? And only you will know. We'll do a little quiz here. The biggest takeaway from this is I want you to understand that not every season is a fasting season. Okay? So it's about tuning in and not going into automatic pilot. Because if you just cruise and you're not plugged in, you are going to make a mistake, so to speak. You want to listen first and then decide second. I listened and I decided, and ended up being a great thing that we did. So here's this overview. I want you to do this little audit of your circumstances right now. So are you currently overly stressed or burned out? That's important to know and be honest with, because if you are running on fumes and you're doing a strong intermittent fasting protocol, you will blow out your fourth valve. We have products for that, but we don't want to take you there all the time. That's not very responsible. You also have to think about, where are you in your cycle, your journey? What's showing up for you? For men, it could be the workload and the stress load. You know, where are you at? Are you on medication? That's going to matter. Or are you gut healing? We're going to go deeper in that in a sec. Well, later on at the end. These are reasons why you would not do intermittent fasting. Do you have a history of restrictive eating? This is really a kind way to say, do you have a reasonable relationship with food? And are you honest about that? Are you a recovering bulimic or anorexic? Do you medicate? Are you a binge eater? Those things need to be looked at. It's not to say that you can't do intermittent fasting. And from experience, intermittent fasting healed a lot of this, but you do have to be honest about it. It can't be used as an idol or a crutch. And then what's your goal? Like, what are we doing here? Are we getting closer to God? Are we fasting so that we can be closer in a relationship with Him? Or maybe your goal is to finally lose some weight. I would recommend that you not make that your goal. I would say to you, let's look at lowering your inflammation. let's look at getting back into a rhythm of life. Let's look at inviting a brand new daily habit in, which you can do because you're not at sync every 5 minutes. All right, so are you under chronic stress, menstruating, on medication, or do you have a bad relationship with food? Answer honestly, and then you'll know. I don't want the answers here. Those are definitely for you. All right, so there are some rules for the game, and it is a game. We made a game out of it, and I was able to train Yura up in it, and now he's a fiend. He's really good at checking labels and making sure that we're not bringing any hints of sugar into what we're doing. In my last talk, I linked you up to the 262 forms of sugar. So if you haven't seen that, go back and watch it, because it's all about metabolic health and what sugar does to destroy our metabolism. You want to make sure that you eliminate sugar for this approach. So here are the rules. I do recommend begin with 12-12, and it must be whole foods only. There is a lot of marketing messages. I think that's probably the best way to describe it. And those marketing messages are completely they're adjacent to what we're doing. They're actually in opposition to what we want to achieve. What I did learn was it doesn't matter what time you have breakfast, people. What matters is what you break your fast with. That does matter. So that old adage, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. I'm sorry, but that's been distorted. What it actually means is what you choose to break your fast with actually matters. I remember one day I was down in Melbourne, and I had been fasting I did the 5-2, and I was ravenous naturally, and I was looking at the clock, ready to go. And I went straight downstairs and got myself a plate of oysters and a beautiful steak and fried eggs. And I can have all that because it's real food and it's protein, and we can lean into protein at breakfast. I do also want to say, if you have a poor relationship with eggs, this is the perfect time to get to know your egg again. All right. Whole foods are brilliant. Now, hydration is mandatory. That should mean something to you. All right. Hydration is critical for you to get the absolute benefit of healing. Sleep is non-negotiable, but it will happen provided you've got your protein levels right. Sunlight is crucial for your circadian rhythm. And again, what's the goal here? What is your goal? I recommend not attaching it to a dress size or a weight on the scales. Okay, what is your goal? You want to move more. You want to be able to walk a distance. I just wanted to be able to do the mopping and the vacuuming in the same day, which I can now do. I attacked the inflammation, and the inflammation came down. And look at that. So did the cortisol. This is some of the products that Yura and I actually used, and we rely on, and we continue to develop a relationship with, just like your beloved oils. These products have as a being all of themselves. So these are great for post-meal glucose spikes. I was actually wearing a CGM, or continuous glucose monitor. Yura wasn't. I needed to know. He didn't want to know. He was quite happy, and everyone's different. And so I wore the CGM to see what happened where my glucose naturally spikes during the day. Guys, we don't flatline. We are meant to spike, but we aren't meant to stay high, and that's where the problem is. We want to have a nice slant on this. So this is about your insulin and supporting insulin sensitivity. It has the MetaPower blend in it, which has cinnamon, which not only helps your immune system, it also helps your liver recover from liver damage. Amazing. Supports healthy blood sugar response and stabilizes energy throughout the day. Beautiful quote from Dr. Hill. Health isn't stagnant, nor does it change overnight. We're either moving closer to more favorable outcomes, or we're not, you know. MetaPower system is a great reminder of how we can't escape the foundational areas of health. MetaPower Advantage was something that we use every single morning without fail. And I was using it at night. Then I didn't need it, and then I dialed back. It's really interesting having some new learnings around Advantage and what it's trying to teach me. My feet have stopped being puffy. Vanessa, you won't believe my ankles and feet. There's actually shape, isn't there, Yura? First time I've seen my ankles, I was looking at it last night going, wow, it's the first time I've seen my ankles since I was about 21. MetaPower Advantage was developed with doTERRA researchers to help maintain healthy cell and organ functioning. We know this. What's this got to do with intermittent fasting? Well, actually, what it does is intermittent fasting utilizes all of the ingredients in this ingredient deck to prepare you even more. So being mentally energized, promoting a healthy weight and body composition. And this is like, I've been taking this for 2 years and it continues. It's absolutely incredible. So aging happens from the inside out. It's all rooted at the cellular level. That's our beautiful Dr. Nicole Stevens. The blend. Now, this is a really cool blend. We've talked about it a lot. You already know how to use it. But what has this got to do with intermittent fasting? Well, when you're on those windows and you are like, okay, I'm ready to eat the leg off a chair, still got an hour to go, metabolic blend will help you dial back what the crisis you think that you're in. You're not, okay? You have a fridge, you have an IGA down the road, you can open the fridge, it's got food in it. You won't let yourself starve. We are overfed, well overfed in the West, and it's a really big problem. Metabolic blend helps you balance out those cravings so that you know that you can handle it for another half hour. Have to put your big girl pants on. All right. So might support metabolic function. It absolutely does. Curbs hunger cravings. Already explained that. Creates an uplifting, stimulating environment. So it's very good for brain functioning when you diffuse it. Please remember that, or just in your hands. And don't forget your beadlets. We always have the beadlets in, well, I do, in the glove box compartment of the car or in a little tiny area of my handbag, so that if I do need the support, I've got it. You can't address metabolic health in one way. Oh, my brother from another mother is the wisest man on earth, Dr. Brannock Riggs. You cannot address metabolic health just one way. It must be addressed from multiple fronts so that you get the most from the benefit. So what we're talking about there is, yes, oils, yes, blends, yes, MetaPower, yes, intermittent fasting, yes, regular movement. Doesn't have to be a big thing. I've lost weight from choosing to sack the cleaner and doing it myself. And I don't always do it right, but because I got a busy world, but it's definitely benefited me. These are the beadlets. I've already spoke about those. You can't address, oh, that was a mistake. All right, Mito 2 Max. So take 2 capsules in the morning with your food. And if you feel like you need a bit of a kick, you can add another one at midday, which I'm going to start doing. I hadn't even noticed that you could do that, and you can. Pairs well with your LLV, with your VMG Plus, your MetaPower Advantage, and any of the daily stress or adrenal protocols that you might follow. Mito 2 Max is a game changer. I believe that it helped attack the inflammation that I was feeling in my feet. And with the ingredient deck that's there, and this is coming back into Australia very soon. Not that it's back for the first time, it's launching very soon. And you have your nerve health, which will be restored with the ingredients that are in Mito 2 Max. How do I know? Because I researched it. Mind blowing. So if the beginning stages of neuropathies are concerned by the ages of some of the women here, it would be hot feet, tingling, restless legs at night, really sore feet when you get up in the morning. That's inflammation, guys. And Mito 2 Max and Advantage attack it. So it's for everyone. Great for brain fog, great for if you're lacking drive. and afternoon crashes. So you take Mito 2 Max and a couple of drops of the MetaPower blend under your tongue and you're good to go. Now, let's just change gears. This is Terrazyme, and Terrazyme is important for your ability to break down food. When you're doing intermittent fasting and you happen to have a problem with your digestive functioning, this becomes your best friend. So it's lovely in the morning, first thing on an empty stomach. It does not pick my blood glucose. Everyone's mileage may vary. It's very good last thing at night to have a quelled tummy. But if you're doing intermittent fasting, you'll notice that all of these little synchronicity, all the little things that have come up to be a problem, they become less of a problem. So I actually got to the point where I've kind of grown out of Terrazyme. I don't really use it that much anymore. I don't need to, because intermittent fasting heals the gut. It's amazing. We all have great testimonies. And yes, this was a slide we used at Balance on the weekend. So it still has the little brand there. So top 5 myth busters. Let's just talk about the things that potentially have got you confused. And this is the truth that you need to know. So first of all, fasting slows your metabolism. Wrong. Truth is, short-term fasting actually increases norepinephrine, and when we have higher levels of norepinephrine, that actually supports the burning of the fat. Isn't that cool? So the fasting slows your whole metabolism. False studies, fake science, and I'm sorry to tell you, food fraud is a thing. There is so much out there. I have a number of doctors that I rely on for this information, and they are literally shaking the tree, so angry at what has now been able to be uncovered. It is a bit of a rabbit hole, and you can go down there all day long. It's important for you to know, because we're going to kill ourselves if we continue to overfeed ourselves. And what we know is wrong. Fasting under 48 hours does not lower your metabolic rate. In fact, it often boosts it slightly. Now look at the age of this study, 2000. It's 25 years old. We've known for 25 years that it doesn't affect your metabolic rate, but marketing, gimmick, influencers, they're out there, friends, and all they want to do is take your money, okay? Fasting does not slow your metabolism. Oh, fasting causes muscle loss. Again, friend, wrong. Truth, your body is incredibly smart, all right? It preserves muscle by increasing the growth hormone. So sometimes, this is why I said don't focus on the scales and don't focus on your dress size, because it actually doesn't matter. If you feel like crap and you're a size 6, what's that about? Okay, we want to focus on feeling engaged and tuned into our body, and the side effect of doing the right thing results in great outcomes. Muscle loss occurs when you're chronically underfed, which is what I discovered I was doing to myself. I wept when I found out. Lacking protein, and that does not come from fasting alone. Chronically underfed also means internal starvation. You can be a size 30 and you could be chronically underfed. You don't understand nutrition, you don't know what you can eat, and you have a weird relationship with food that puts you in a risk category. So we need to turn that around, enjoy food again. Start loving your food. Start on 12-12. Okay, 12 hours a day I'm allowed to eat, but I need to be mindful of what I'm eating. And 12 hours a day I'm not eating, because I'm giving my digestive tract a rest. Hallelujah, that's what we want. So if you pair intermittent fasting with the Lifelong Vitality Pack and adequate protein in your window, guess what? You won't have any cravings. Do you like the sound of that? No cravings. All right, there's this idea that only 16-8 works. That's actually not true. 12-12 does work and is very good for women and great for beginners. 16-8 works to, it's like the next step. If you haven't mastered 12-12, then you go to 16-8, okay? Don't start on 16-8 because and as I said before, 12 from 16 is 4. So just find something else to do for 4 hours and you'll be ready for it. You'll be prepared for it. Don't launch straight into it. There is no perfect ratio. It's about rhythm and it's about consistency. And probably what I should add there is it's about regular daily habits. And you muck it up today. And just as I said to my breastfed baby, oh, mummy wasn't really a good mummy today. I didn't really do all the things I was meant to do. Okay, at least there's a sunrise in the morning, and the sunrise was my chance to have a reset. I used to say to my baby girl, this is our reset and we can start again, honey, and we would have a better day. Encouragement, start where you are. Gentleness on yourself builds trust. Fasting doesn't work for women. That's actually not true. I've never seen that before, but I added it. Just in case you had it, I've never seen that. But anyway, the women need to honor their cycle phases, okay? And if you're bleeding heavily and all the things, but you know what? Intermittent fasting resets your hormones. So that once you're on track, your cycle will become more regular and more normal. Fasting is safe, it's effective, and when it's done intentionally, it's fine. You definitely don't go at it all aggressive and perfectionistic. That is self-hatred. That is self-deprecation. This was the part I didn't like, okay? But I only had wind of what I thought I knew, not the truth. Pro tip, if you use your luteal phase before your period as a time for rest, not extended fasting. Okay, explain that in a bit. Fasting is starvation. That's what I thought. The truth is starvation is actually forced on you. Fasting is something you're stepping through to. So you're showing up for it and it's chosen and it has an intention. Starvation depletes, fasting resets. Big difference. And I had to put this in because it's Passover this weekend. Jesus used fasting to prepare. 40 days before he began ministry, he fasted for 40 days straight. And it wasn't about deprivation. It was about dependence on the Father for sustenance. He knew that all he needed was God in order to do what he needed to do. It also wasn't a performance. He wasn't doing it to become more enlightened, although people say that it was. It's not the truth. Okay, it was for intimacy with God, for clarity and for strength about what he was going to go through starting Thursday next week. Right now, starting Thursday next week. We're not called to live in chaos or confusion. We're called to live in rhythm and peace and purpose. So if we look at fasting as a rhythmic reset, it gives your digestive system a break. You'll actually release those problems. It supports your metabolic reset. It supports insulin balance. It supports cellular repair. This is where I got really excited because while I loved the whole peacefulness and everything, I needed to know what it was doing to my body. Far from destroying my metabolism, it was actually allowing my metabolism to rebuild. Now, you do know that we eliminated all forms as much as we can. Incidental ingestion happens. Sugar is in everything, so it's very hard to dodge. And then there's the 262 names. So that's a lot of names of sugar. But if you actively cancel it out of your diet and move into whole foods and reset, you actually feel the repair. You feel the strength. Yura is 64 and is somebody that has, I cannot describe in language the unbearable levels of stress Yura is under. Nobody would understand the incredible levels of stress that he constantly is under with what he's doing outside the house. So it has been able to give him strength that he may not have survived in actual fact, because his father died at 58. The metabolic, the fasting is very good for the body's natural rhythms. And let's go back to that breastfed baby. You started to get this beautiful rhythm with your child. And before you knew it, they were going through their milestones, weren't they? And then the baby was big and bunting and ready to come off the breast. And it's just a beautiful thing. So your body will actually heal if you give it the chance to do that. With the MetaPower products, with the doTERRA products, with the Lifelong Vitality, yes to all of that. But if you aren't making an effort with what you eat, when you eat, and you're not eliminating sugar, it doesn't matter what oil you use, guys. It will work for a little time. And the founders have always said, get your nutrition right first. And this is what they meant. Think of fasting as like a Sabbath for your gut. Okay, it's just the day without the work. Only we're going to do it in different windows. Peace, light, and restoration. So I just want to talk about the gut cleanse. There is a lot of talk, and I blame the internet for this, about gut cleanses and intermittent fasting. You do a gut cleanse over an intermittent fasting? Definitely not. Okay. It involves targeting pathogens, so metals, candida, parasites, bacteria, okay? We all know the things. We talk about it in conversations, in Facebook and so on. It often includes antimicrobial herbs that we might have in our LLB, for example, binders, which I don't think we have, and more structured protocols really to go for those heavy metals. The new VMG actually is very good with seeking out metals. I will say that. So it can lead to major detox problems if you do this too soon and you layer them on the top of each other. They're best done when your body is stable, nourished, and supported. So it's a different season, okay? Don't need a gut cleanse when you're focusing on your intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting ends, perhaps, or perhaps not. You and I have been intermittent fasting now for 14 months, and absolutely no danger. I have noticed I have to make a little bit of an adjustment, which I'm going to do, but at the very least, you want to promise yourself always 7 hours between meals. None of this boost your metabolism with food nonsense. That was a marketing gimmick. So if you're already dealing with cortisol burnout, and that's actually the majority of the people here, your system is already in fight or flight. Okay. Gut cleanse can actually make things worse, which we don't want to do. And first, we just need that rest, rhythm, mineral support, herbs, essential oils, and just get this nervous system repaired. Then, if you need it, and you may not, you can then look at your gut protocols in another program in another part of the year. Dr. Hill is big on gut cleanse once a year, maybe twice. And that's him direct to me. Okay. There's a lot of sensationalism about gut cleanse. I hear about people doing it once a month, and I'm literally gobsmacked, but I don't find myself correcting them unless I think there's value in doing that. Healing has a sequence, so remember this. And we use this in Aroma Touch as well. First, safety, then rhythm, and repair will come. If you go first for the rhythm and no safety, danger. If you go first for the repair and not really worry about the rhythm, danger. Safety first, rhythm, then repair. Okay. And this is my little ebook that I have put together for you that goes over all of the different types of intermittent fasting. And you can choose in, there's more than even I discussed tonight. You can choose in on what you would like and how you would like to orientate your life when you're ready. And I'm not saying in the morning. I hope I've made that really clear. You have to prepare and invite your body and then present it to it and then engage it. There you go. We did a pipe. All right, so final words. You can join a foundational wellness series I do for everyone every Wednesday evening. Feel free to ask me about MetaPower and any other fasting friendly resources. I'm hoping that ebook nails it for you. You can do one-on-one coaching. If you're looking for that balance in the tension between faith and healing and all that, well, walking that out real soon. So you're going to be able to see what that's like and join that there. And you can follow me at the QR code that takes you to my link tree, actually, and is always changing. It's a mess, and it always will be because it's partly my brain. Okay, that's it.
That was so wonderful, babe. Thank you so much, honey.
You're welcome. Sounds like your anesthetic's worn off a little bit there.
Yeah, it has. I can do a bit more. So, babes, there are some questions in there about, does MetaPower break the fast, and how often or how many days in a row might you do 16-8?
Mhm. All right. So the LLV and the MetaPower did not spike our blood sugar. Now there's a waiver here. If you are somebody who is perhaps an athlete and you're wanting to manage your ketones, so this is like taking things a whole other level, then it will, because it has a carb component in it, as in the plant, all right, it's not carbs as in starch, but it does have carbs in it. It may more than likely blow out your ketones, but not everybody is there either. So you really just got to depend on what you want to do. Let's say you are really looking after your ketones and you really don't want to have any of the product interfere with how you're tracking. Okay, and you can measure your ketones through urine strips and all of the things. You can get right into it all. My guidance there would be then to break your fast. There it is again. Break your fast with your supplements. Okay, and then you're away from the fasting window, and that's going to matter for some people, and for some people it doesn't. Yura and I, we're creatures of habit, so we didn't follow the rules and we still got results. All right. So what we did is we wanted the daily habit more than we wanted to chase the ketone thing, and we might change it up later on. So for us, as we got up in the morning, the very first thing we did was to get the supplements into us while we weren't having food, which goes against the label. The reason that label is there is to support people who are not used to taking supplements. Once you're conditioned, after 10 years, we're pretty conditioned. There's no reason to have to worry about it. If you have repeating, the repeating will be the ginger and the peppermint and the tummy tamer blend. You can take it with a spoonful of Greek yogurt, which is a whole food, which is really important. So I hope that's kind of a very vague answer, and it isn't directive. You just have to decide, do I want to establish the daily habit, or do I want to honor the window and just do it when I break the fast? And either way is fine. All right. I've just realized I didn't touch on recharge, and it was in there, but it wasn't in my master deck for some reason. So I do want to say, speak a minute to the recharge. It is fundamental to your well-being. And in fact, when it comes to intermittent fasting, hydration is where you will hang your hat, even over the food. So you'll be taking in your hydration, sipping on it throughout the day. I've seen some of our US sisters blend the BMG and the assist and the recharge. Can you not do that? That is just ridiculous. That is an abuse of the product. It's not how it was meant. I'm using very strong language here because it horrifies me. These two are fabulous, okay, or LLV, right? They're fabulous and they're designed to go together. Mixing them in together saves you time. Our daily habits take us 2.5 minutes. putting the recharge in that, well, first of all, it will just taste disgusting. Second of all, this really needs to be in 16 ounces or 2 cups or 3 even of water in a large drink bottle. You're going to drink that in place of water. Now, what that does is it pushes all of the minerals around your body, and it makes sure that the detoxification that happens through while you're healing through that window is able to be facilitated with this incredible product. There is no other product like it. 4 different types of magnesium, a unique 3-in-1 potassium ratio. Dr. Ogisorp goes berserk whenever he says it, because there's nothing else like it on the market, and it's liposomal technology. What that means is there's an essential oil inside. Oil meets oil, as we learned from Leslie the other night, and the substrates are cleansed and all of the things function, and you just love the taste. There's nothing to do. This is incredible. So your recharge, your hydration is where you anchor your focus more than the time of day that you eat, because you can hydrate even while you're eating, and you can hydrate in your non-eating window. So my apologies, that slide should have been in that deck. But just to explain that you will not do this unless you have the tools, and this is definitely one of the tools, non-negotiable. I hope that helps you, Monique. Choosing fasting is the first step. How often or how many days in a row? Hope I was able to answer that. Very slowly catch the monkey, okay? Let me just say, you do go through a little bit. You go through a, oh my God, what are you doing to me? And you feel your body want to sabotage, catch it and go, aha, I know exactly what you're doing. No, you don't. Back to bed. All right. And you must be gentle with yourself. I found myself, once not long ago, actually, I've been on this for 16 months. And then I was at the service station. I don't know, it might have been an olfactory thing with the petrol. And the very first thing was, I wanted a packet of chips. What? Why? Like, I haven't done that. And it was just an old habit when I was young. When I was stressed and dehydrated, I wanted the salty cracker. And so I looked at the time and I went, okay, we can have nuts. So I went in, paid for the petrol and the nuts that I bought, almonds or might have been macadamias, and that's fine. But it was just a really strange craving. So it's really interesting to observe your body want to sabotage, okay? Your mind wants to play games, and all you do is, we're going to be fine. You're going to have that Greek yogurt at 4:30, and you're going to mix that with some beautiful avocado. So fat's your priority. And we're going to make sure that you eat till you're about 80% full. That's important. And you won't need anything. And so what happens after about 2 or 3 days, and I can talk about what happened with me, 2 or 3 days, I realized I wasn't having cravings because I wasn't having sugar. Sugar and starch, carbohydrates, alcohol will create craving. They're the ones that are doing the damage. Okay, so if you eliminate that, you'll find that you have the sustenance. You might break your fast at 4:30 in the afternoon because you're just going to eat a leg off a chair. That's okay. Have some hydration, throw some MetaPower under the tongue just for a bit. Give yourself an hour. Have an On Guard chewable because they're amazing and you should have them every day and at least twice a day. And just see if you still need something, because I guarantee you won't. Or go for a walk. Okay. And then when you break your fast, the cat's eating fish and that's it. So I'll rip open a can of tuna and I'll eat it. Okay. So I know what I'm eating and I know what I'm breaking my fast with. It's not like I'm going to the cupboard for, I don't know, what, cheese biscuits or something. 12-12, definitely open to trying 16-8. So did you see what I said? You just got to be gentle with yourself and saying, hey, it's only 4 more hours. So where are we at? It's 12 o'clock. I have to wait till 4 o'clock. Oh, good. I have 2 calls. Yeah, let's give it a go. But if today was a bad day and you really need some food and you need to eat at 1 o'clock, guess what you're going to do? You're going to eat at 1 o'clock. All right, recharge will be here soon. Old memory of smelling the petrol and grabbing the crisps. Yes. All right. So what I learned was that we have an incredible, it's just not products. It's not products. Okay. This is a scaffolding. This is a scaffold for success. Okay. With your gut cleanse, you want to imagine that is renovating the house, but your intermittent fasting is strengthening the foundation. Okay, so we want to go to intermittent fasting and look at that to help us heal. See how you go. We loved the lifestyle so much, we stayed on it. Now, Dr. Jason Fung is one of my most favorite doctors. He is amazing. He has a thing called the fasting method. He knows every different type of fast, why you do it. He's got a mind like a vault. He has all of the knowledge around intermittent fasting. He's your fasting guru, 100%. He knows all of the Eastern influences around fasting. He knows all the religious influences around fasting. So depending on your flavor and what floats your boat, you can go in there and have a look at that. Unfortunately, a lot of the modern fasting methods were not good because they were based on faulty science. So he's unpacked that. However, ancient fasting methods were spot on. It's like God knew. Who knew? So because we have documents, we have ancient documents, we can go back over and we can track how those fasts were observed, and they were perfect, absolutely perfect. So yeah. Is there anything with nuts and dried fruits? Okay, so it automatically goes over to what can I have? And that is that is the wild beast that is our metabolism. Okay, it drives a lot of that thinking. So on that ebook that I shared, it's going to walk you through it. It's going to give you, if you need extra hands with food lists, fine. Remember, we're primarily protein. High fats, fat doesn't make you fat. High fats, and that includes Greek yogurt and avocado all day long. You can have it. Doesn't matter. It's got magnesium in it too. So good for inflammation. So let yourself enjoy good food, but do not or pass go. No processed foods, none. If it comes in a packet, question it. Ebook is in the portal with food ideas. Yep. Even some of the food concepts here, you're just going to have to use your discretion and discernment around where am I going? And this comes back to that question I asked for you. What's your goal? What are you trying to achieve? You know, are you looking at healing over a window of time? Are you looking at a lifestyle? Are you looking at, especially this time of year, are you looking at a religious fast? Does it involve lots of other things, including digital fast, because that's important? Okay, so yeah, there's quite a bit there. 16-8 for a few months. Go you, Kalina. Feels so much better. Oh yeah, and you've broken your arm as well. It was hard to start and it's got so much easier and it now feels natural. When you get your cravings and if the MetaPower doesn't work, a couple of salt is good, and pickle juice from the pickle jar. Just make sure it has no sugar in it, and it's very good for you because it'll dial back. When you can feel a craving for something sweet, I don't have a craving, and nor does Yura, for chocolate anymore whatsoever. Not even the good chocolate. It's ugh. It does not float my boat. We no longer have any form of alcohol. We have a de-alcoholized type of alcohol, which we really loved. It's called Altina. We get asked about this all the time. It's absolutely beautiful. She's on Instagram. She's award-winning Altina wines. They're not wines. They've had the sugar taken out of them. All right. How,
PJ, can you
yeah.
say that last question
Yes.
there, honey?
How often or how many days in a row do you do 16/8? I'm thinking once to twice a month. Again, it's going to be up to you and what you want. We do OMAD primarily 1 meal a day, and we're just, Yura doesn't even know yet, but we're just about to change that up. I did a little bit of research and there's some things that we're looking at. I'm like, yes, we need to change it now. And that's okay. It's a season. Okay. You're doing what you do for a season. So, how many days in a row? You can comfortably do 16/8 ongoing. But what I would suggest you do is listen to Jason Fung, the fasting method protocols, and he has a podcast on Spotify. Listen to that, half hour a day. There's his partner in that business is Megan Ramos, and Megan runs the fasting method for women. It's really good, and you will get so much more than I can fit into the hour because this is ongoing. And that then you can make your decision and you can decide, you know, do I want to do this? I've heard Dr. Fung say once you've got your skates on, so 16/8 is where you've got your skates on and you really know what you're doing and you're comfortable. So I fast when I'm flying. I don't eat in the air whatsoever. Oh my goodness, it makes such a difference. You don't get tired and you don't get jet lag. I haven't had jet lag for years. And then I make sure that when I hit the ground, I literally ground with meat. So I'll have a steak or I might have some fish, depending on which country I'm in or what I'm doing. Can't easily get some food some places. Are you suggesting avoiding fasting during the menstrual cycle? Well, no. That's a great question, though. What I'm suggesting is that you tune into who and what you are. You know your lifestyle. You know what you're capable of. You need to think of it as building up to a marathon. So it's not something that you don't just launch into 1 meal a day if you've never done a 12-12, for example. And adjacent to this question is also my relationship with food. If you have always been self-deprecation and maybe bulimic or have a history there, you need to get some extra support going. Don't go it alone. Get some help. Have I got the right relationship with food? Do I secretly binge? I mean, these are touching on some pretty sensitive topics, which is why when I came to the intermittent fasting, I'm like, yeah, that's true. Okay, I need to bring all this to light so that you're able to make your decision. If you fast, the main message is, if you fast, you will not die. Okay, I promise your body will not let you die. This whole idea that it mucks with your metabolism is actually based on false science. It's wrong. Your body will eat itself. Who loves the idea of your body eating its own fat? Sorry for the gross. Yeah, who wouldn't love that? Guess what? If you give your body the right clues, your body will go and do exactly that. It'll go looking for the fat. Look at Yura. He's a shadow of himself. And we haven't even moved yet. We haven't done any walking yet. We haven't gone to the gym and lift weights yet. That's coming. Okay. We haven't had to do that because we set the mechanism in our bodies to go eating the fat. I found some professional photos of me the day that photo was taken, and I hardly recognized myself. All I did was I set the lever inside my body once I got researched to go and eat the fat. So it did. Am I still fat? Yes, there are parts of me that are still fat. Do I care? No, but I'm constantly changing, and it's about consistency and showing up again and again, a little bit like your doTERRA business, right? You just do it again, do it again, do it again. Humans have always fasted, correct, Larissa? That's very true. You will thrive. And yeah, we did the reset. We didn't do it without help. We did it with the products as the scaffold. So just remember that they're a scaffold. They're there to support you. They're not separate to what you're doing. And I'm going to full disclosure, right? I think we were leaning on the oils, hoping for the magic fix. I really do, even though we did that out of ignorance. We thought that, oh, look, that works on X, and so it's going to work on Y. But I will say, when I came to the Slim and Sassy, and I started researching the Slim and Sassy, and it said that the fat cells were changed with it. I went, oh, no, I just don't believe that. Hey, no. And so I went down the rabbit hole, and lo and behold, that's exactly what the grapefruit does. Then they dialed into Slim and Sassy. They did some research to find out, okay, what can this do? So if you still have Slim and Sassy at home, and even if it's past its use by date, diffuse it, because it's great. It's really good. Or pop it in a rollable. Don't gift it, but you can keep it. MetaPower is the Smart and Sassy, Slim and Sassy, re-energized, repackaged, and researched to the nth degree. And they are finding things daily that are staggering. Yeah, diffuse. I have beaten diabetes. So that's very exciting to say that I've reclaimed my health. I was 18 A1C. I'm now at 5.2, which is normal, and I'm actually no longer diabetic. Her Dr. Riggs, we had a catch up on Zoom one day, and he said, so how are you going? And I showed him the thing, and he went, that's it. You're free. You're not diabetic. Really? And he goes, no. How long's it been at 5.2? I went, oh, since 4 months that I started. And he said, just MetaPower. And I went, no, intermittent fasting. I went, oh, of course. And I said, and what happened was the intermittent fasting and the MetaPower kind of was a fast track, and it was pretty easy to do. So it was really cool. It is amazing. I am so grateful. And it means I have energy. I have to tell you that I got to the stage where I was very close to, it wasn't good. It was not good. And now I can think about my future. I no longer have brain fog. I can function. I can go out in the world, and community is everything. So just don't forget that. Thank you so much for watching tonight. I've really appreciated the opportunity. Thanks, Vanessa and Paul, for giving me the opportunity to come on and share some of the learnings. There's loads, but this is just an aspect of my life now.
Thank you so much, PJ. I couldn't wait for you to do this one. Paul said to me, babe, why don't you just go rest and I'll be on? I'm like, no way. I'm not missing this one live.
Did it help? Did you learn much?
Yes, babe. I know that I've been fasting a long time, but the thing is this, hearing you and the way you present it, and knowing you for as long as I have, and witnessing this transformation it's almost like it's given me more strength, fortitude, and also faith to come back from this heavy journey I've gone through, with the whole Big M journey. So I'm so grateful. I've taken so much in. I've taken photos of things you've said and your gorgeous quotes, but also just inspired by what I'm reading in the chat, like how many people. Can you put a 2 in the chat if you feel safe to try one of these intermittent fasting? And PJ, I did ask earlier which one they'd be ready to try. So that's what all the ones were, that they're willing, and then they shared which one. Like, look at all those 2s. That is a learning in and of itself, because so many people have been so afraid of this, not knowing which doorway to walk through, because there's just much noise around it,
Yeah.
So thank you so much, darling. What we're going to do now, my loves, is come off recording. And if anyone has anything to share or to ask that's of private nature, you can do that with PJ now. Thank you, PJ.
You're welcome.